In Old Testament times, the blessing and the birthright were just the most important things. And the Bible talks about how that when Jacob and Esau were in the womb, they fought against one another. And the mother, she didn't know what was going on here. She inquired of the Lord about it. The Lord said that there were two nations in there. And when they were born, the scripture says that Jacob had a hold of Esau's heel, trying to hold him back. But it turns out that Esau, this whole birthright thing, really didn't mean a whole lot to him. And he comes in from hunting one day, and he's tired and he's hungry, and he says to his brother, who was making some pottage, some meat, kind of like a little stew, and he said, "Give me some of that." And Jacob saw his opportunity, and he says, "I'll give it to you for the birthright." And Esau, he just shrugged it off. He says, "Sure, it doesn't matter," and sold his birthright for that little bit of food. And then there was the blessing. And the Bible talks about how that Isaac, their father, he'd gotten older, and he says his eyesight wasn't very good, and perhaps maybe his hearing wasn't very good. And he says to his son Esau, he says, "I want you to go out into the woods, and I want you to kill a deer, and I want some venison. I want you to make that special type of food that you know how I just love that." And so Esau goes off to go hunting, and his mother, Rebecca, she'd overheard the conversation, and she says to her son Jacob, she says, "I want you to go, and I want you to kill a kid or a lamb from out of the flock, and I'll bring it to me, and we'll dress it, and we'll make this food." And of course, Jacob, he's going, "Well, how are you going to be able to pull that off?" She says, "Just go do it." So he went, and he brought the lamb, and they dressed it, and she made this food that she knew her husband loved so much. And then she took the wool from the lamb and put it on Jacob's arms, put it on his chest and around his neck, put him in his brother Esau's clothes, and sent him in. And when he goes in there, Jacob's father, Isaac, he says, "Wow," he says, "your voice, it sounds like Jacob's, but you smell like Esau." And he reached up there, and he rubbed his arms, and he felt that wool, and he says, "Well, I guess you're Esau." So he ate the food, and then he says, "It's time for the blessing." And he gave the blessing to Jacob. And then Jacob departed, and almost immediately Esau comes in and says, "I've come with the food, Dad. I'm ready for the blessing." And he says, Who are you?" He says, "I'm Esau." And Isaac said, "Well, who did I just bless?" And Esau says, "Is there not a blessing for me?" And there was. But it wasn't the blessing that was intended. See, I bring you this story, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the week as we go along. I bring you this story to tell you that the blessings of God are very, very much involved in the relationship. It's Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.